Welcome to Boomhauer69's YouTube channel, and today's video, Boomhauer69 here. I'm out here on this nature trail that I talked about before on my YouTube channel. This is the Fred Meijer Rail Trail, and I'm just on it heading east, getting some exercise in. And as you can see, I'm carrying my camouflage backpack that I did a video about that talks about what's inside the pack. It's called What's in the Pack and stuff, and I'll put a link down in the description so you can get a general idea of what I kind of carry when it comes to survival gear and backpacking stuff, you know, for hiking. Now, obviously, on this nature trail I'm on, in reality, I do not need necessarily any survival gear per se, you know, but I carry it when I'm on this trail to get used to the weight of the backpack. That's why when I used to previously do these videos, I would always have this with me, because I'm always training myself to learn to carry the weight of the backpack. So in that actual situation where I'm out somewhere hiking and I know I need survival gear in case I get lost or whatever, or, you know, I'm in like say I go to like a state park in my area, like the Manistee National Forest, and I'm out hiking in the woods and I get lost, well, it'll be a lot easier for me in those situations, being used to the weight of the backpack. That's why I'm a little teeny bit hunched, but not too much. My body will adjust and get used to the weight of it, and that's very important. That's why I like having this trail here, because it's virtually impossible to get lost on or end up needing to survive a couple of nights. But I train myself to carry this to get used to the weight of it. So when I'm in those situations, say I'm out hiking with friends in some random woods somewhere, and we end up getting lost or whatever, you know, I have gear in here that tells that I personally know that I can use to survive a situation, build a shelter. I have my Arcturus survival tarp blanket cover, where I can set that up as shelter. And then I don't know if you can see it too good on camera, but I got just one of those cheapy spring, summertime, maybe fall time sleeping bags that's pretty weatherproof. I actually normally carry this inside the backpack, which pushes it out and really puts a kind of kink in your back there. But and so I just attached it to the side through the molly webbing on this backpack. This backpack is just some basic kind of survival backpack, that hiking backpack that was bought off from Amazon.com, called Militech and stuff. But yeah, all the gear that's in here is stuff that I reviewed over time on my YouTube channel, like this little flashlight, and then down here the little Olight Baton 4 tactical flashlight and stuff. I have this little rinky-dinky flashlight in case I was out here and it got super dark and I needed a light to find my way back. I'd have two kind of lights for backup. This one's not the greatest. This is just one of them little El Cheapo shoulder hand cranky flashlights, but it would definitely get the job done if I needed a quick setup camp somewhere. And then of course this Olight flashlight, which is going to be the main one. If this one didn't go out, I have at least a little bit of rinky-dinky backup emergency one. I do want to add more, replace this one with a more better type of flashlight lantern thing. I'm thinking about getting like just a regular hanging lantern for this pack, and then since my brother bought these little Olights, get a little bit bigger Olight flashlight for this, and then like I said before, a lantern light. So that way, if I got to set up shelter somewhere, I can have a lantern that I can hang off a tree branch or whatever, and to have lights to see at night and stuff, and different things. Obviously, I have a mobile device here, but it's one of those Wi-Fi only, and if I don't have a Wi-Fi signal, well, I ain't reaching anybody. And this also has a, since it's got a rear camera on it, my tablet's also got a light on it too, so I can in a pinch use that as a light. I could potentially, since this has got MapQuest on it, Google Android, I can easily be able to look at the map and try to find my way back and stuff if I have to. I have a map on here, so even if it's offline maps and stuff, I still have a map to look at and find my way. I got a compass and all kinds of stuff in here, but yeah, I mainly on this trail, when I'm walking this trail, sometimes, not all the time, but a lot of times when I'm out here on this trail, I like to bring this backpack, wear it, and so I get used to the weight of it, because that's very important. Usually what they say, if you can't lift your backpack way over top your head like this, if you can't do that, then it's too heavy. So you would want to, cut back on what you have in the backpack and stuff, and take out stuff that ain't really important. Like if you have a redundancy of a bunch of things, like more than one thing, maybe take a few extra items. Like in this backpack, I got quite a few little folding hand saws in here, like the whiskers and that one I bought from Walmart called Muddies, and then my regular main silky pocket boy folding saw and stuff, so I have kind of a little bit of redundancy of more than one item and stuff. I also have in here some of the little Mylar blankets, and then I also have a Mylar actual little Mylar tube tent that I also throw it in here for I could use and stuff. What I would do in this survival situation is this sleeping bag right here. At night it gets super cold out. What I would do is that I would probably use the Mylar tent that I got in here. I would probably maybe use that as the shelter, and then in conjunction with my Arcturus survival blanket, maybe make a bigger like lean-to type A-frame shelter, a little bit bigger one probably is what I would do if I had to, for some reason I got lost out here and I had to hunker down for the night and survive. That's probably what I would do, and then build a fire. I have all kinds of ways to start fires. Matter of fact, I got a really old mini big lighter in here, and I been in there for months on end. I flicked it to check to see if it did anything, and sure enough, it's still got fuel in it. So, yeah, I got a quick way to start a fire, and I also got ferrocerium rods. I got a bunch of those orange ones like they sell at Walmart and stuff in their Ozark Trail camping section and stuff. So yeah, this backpack I'm carrying has all kinds of gear in it that I personally know for a fact that if I was in an emergency survival situation where I got lost and I had to hunker down for a night or two, I know I could use the gear inside here to keep myself alive for a few nights, Now, granted, I don't have any like food related items where I'd be trying to sneak up on that deer and taking one of my little saws or knives or whatever, and having to skinning it, do some hunting, I will call it, But yeah, I know in here some gear where I can be safe enough, where I know I'd be safe enough to be able to at least take some, fresh snow, or find a creek with some clear water in it, be able to boil up the water for 1 whole minute, to a rapid boil for 1 whole minute, and be able to have safe drinking water and be able to survive a few nights. That's one of the things you want to do when building a survival kit. Don't get on YouTube or TikTok or Facebook and copy all these other survivalists and their gear, because their backpacks and gear are customized to what their liking is and what they know they need in order to successfully fully survive a night. So what you want to do is you want to buy gear and stuff that you know personally in your own mind, your own heart, that you can actually use to survive in an emergency situation out in the wilderness and stuff, where you know you yourself can personally survive. And you always want to make sure to add to, when you're building a survival kit, make sure you're adding gear that you know you can use to personally survive. Like right down to the backpack. This backpack I bought on Amazon.com, because I said to myself, you know, I want a big, large backpack that I can throw a lot of gear in and be doing just fine, you know. Matter of fact, if I thought about it long and hard enough, I got enough gear in here where I could probably have a little log cabin built and be able to, you know, I got my little folding shovel in here where I could, if the ground was just right and I found some clay and mud, I could build and had a bunch of stones nearby, I could build a fireplace and practically almost build a log cabin with this gear. Would I do it? No, because I don't have the property to be doing it. But if I thought about it long hard enough, and I was willing to put all the time and efforts into it, say I knew I was going to be stranded for a long time out in the middle of nowhere, I'd be able to do it, you know. I'd just be putting a lot of time and efforts into it and stuff. But yeah, don't get on the internet and, oh, I'm going to copy this survivalist content creators pack, you know. Later on, I never finished building this pack up yet. I want to add a solar device to it, like a little solar power station to this one, a little battery banks with a built-in solar panel. I want to do that, and then some other things as well, because I will be bringing along a cell phone. I plan on, well, I'll probably whatever cell phone I got at the time will be able to bring along, which I didn't think about. Could have brought that along today too, but I didn't. But yeah, I want to, for this kit, add a some solar kit to it as well, and then maybe also, so that way I can charge up solar devices and stuff, because I do want to get, or if I get another one of these O-lights, you know, have a thing where I can charge up stuff, because I do want to add a regular to this kit, regular like battery charger that plugs into USB, where you could charge up AAs and AAAs off a little battery solar bank and stuff for extra lighting and stuff, because I do want to get some of those get at least one of those hanging lantern light like I talked about before, and then that way the lantern light I can hang up in the tree and stuff, or hang in my shelter as I'm lighting in the shelter, you know. Especially if I'm in a situation where a search and rescue team was looking for me, you know, having lighting and stuff and would help people spot you and stuff. Like, I got in here a little orange one of those orange solo Mylar blankets, where the one side is a shiny orange, where I could use that to cut it up, mark my territory where I was at. You know, I got a pencil in here and stuff to write, hey, where I was at, you know, where I could put my initials and say was here, and then somebody could find me. Or I could use it to signal and stuff. And I think I also have a signaling mirror in here. I'll have to recheck, because I think one of the survival kits, cheapy survival kits I bought one time, came with one, and I think if I remember right, I think I stuck it in here as well. So I do have a signaling mirror for if I need a signal, AeroMed, search and rescue in that kind of event and stuff. But well, yeah, it's currently still wintertime out here in Michigan. That's why you don't see me doing much walking, talking videos. Because lately we've been having super cold temperatures where it's like 15, and then it gets down to like like 10, 5, and stuff degrees Fahrenheit. That's in Fahrenheit. So yeah. So that's why you don't see me doing too many survival videos, too many walking videos and stuff, because what the nature trail looks like I'm walking on right now. So if I keep walking this, I'm going to be walking all the way into Ionia on this, and yes, this is ice right here. So it's that the sun's out. It's about 54 degrees out Fahrenheit, and so the sun's melting off this the snow and ice, so it's kind of like that wet, sloshy kind of snow and ice. So you definitely want to be careful when walking. Now, one thing I should have done instead is I'm wearing just regular old, I always call them tennis shoes, sneaker shoes. So I should have put on my hiking boots. That would have been a little more smarter thing, because I got some nice insulated hiking boots where if something was happening to me, if I was out here for hours on end, I'd be able to keep my feet warm and stuff, which I'm not going to be out here that long anyways. I'm just going to go a little ways down here, turn around, head back home. But yeah. But that's why I'm short sleeved right now, because it's not that cold out. Now, if it was getting dark out right now, where it was super dark, like say around 6 or 7 p.m. right now, and I was short sleeved and was getting lost, I'd be as far as warmness, I'd be a little screwed, where I'd be trying to wrap this around me and carrying my backpack, because this is my only basically coat right now I have on me and stuff. So that's one boo-boo mistake I made, is not, but if I was wearing a sweatshirt or coat right now, I'd be sweating, and then I'd be all wet, and then I'd get cold again. So yeah, so that's something to think about, if you, when building your own gear, think about the elements. What kind of elements are you in? Are you going to need a coat? Are you going to need a jacket? Do you want to bring an extra pair of clothes to stay warm and dry? Like me in Michigan, I live in a cold temperature where it might be 54 out, then tomorrow it could be in the 20s, 30s, in the teens, and where it's super cold, where I would definitely be in an emergency situation, building a fire, trying to stay warm and the best I can. So yeah, that's why I have in my pack stuff that would at least allow me to try to stay warm and stuff, like a bunch of little Mylar blankets. I actually have 2, and then the Mylar survival shelter, my Arcturus survival blanket shelter as well, and then this little season sleeping bag. Now again, the sleeping bag is just one of them I guess you call it a 3-season, spring, summer, time kind of sleeping bag that you would use in the spring and summer. It's just a basic one, but the main reason why I bought it, because it's pretty compact. You can really, if you do it right, you can really get it good and compact down in this sleeping bag. And the thing I like about it as well is it's compact, where you can really pack it down, and it had really good Amazon reviews, and it was, at the time, I couldn't afford one of those big fancy 4-season big sleeping bags, so I went with that because it had pretty good reviews on Amazon, and it the price was right. It was in my price range at the time. That's why I bought it. It's actually one of them little camouflage ones, wannabe camo, I should say. But in a pinch, if I had to hide from somebody, say I had to hide and stuff, I could easily put it over me and throw some leaves and debris on it, and it would help me simply stay camouflaged and be able to hide, where if I throw some stuff on it, I could easily blend in where people would be, if somebody was out to get me or something and I had to hide for emergency situations, I could easily do so and stuff. But yeah, like I said, when you're building a survival pack, don't just go out and copy some random person off the YouTube. Like, I made a video about what's in this pack. Don't try to copy me and say, oh, I'm going to make that exact same one, because the stuff in it, you might take it out in the woods or whatever, you might go hiking with your friends, get lost, and realize, hey, I need to survive, and the stuff in here that I have, it may not work for you and stuff. So, because everyone's needs and every way is different. Like me, I got a bunch of little folding saws in here. Maybe you don't need a folding saw. Maybe you're a guy that likes to be Mr. Strongman and bring a gasoline powered chainsaw or a little electric chainsaw or whatever, But most of the stuff I have in my kit is just pretty basic stuff that every typical survivalist person, would normally have. I don't have any, I wouldn't necessarily say I don't have any much personal items in it, but I would still say try to figure out what your needs are, because you might live in a climate where you don't even need a sleeping bag and stuff. And so yeah, I never got around to completing this backpack. There's still a few items that I have on my Amazon account that I would like to order up, like a little wool blanket I was thinking about getting, and like I said before, a little solar power bank, and then one of those filtered water purification straws, one of those what they call filter straws and stuff. So that way I can have a few different ways to purify water. Like right now I have drinking water here because I got a canteen. On my side here, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on camera here too good, but yeah, it's on this side here. Matter of fact, yeah, it's kind of right there. One of my hand is kind of holding it, but that's right now I have safe drinking water where if I was in an emergency situation, if I rationed it out, I wouldn't have to worry about scooping up snow and trying to boil it. Maybe on the third and fourth day and stuff, I would probably need to think about boiling up water and making that tough decision. Do I want to have to go that route, and stuff? So yeah, keep that in mind. That's why I like the idea of those filter straws, like the Life straws, Sawyer. I know Sawyer makes really nice compact ones and stuff. There's some really good brands out there, and I highly recommend, if you're gonna get those filtration little straws that help you filter out water to make it safe to drink, get a good brand. Get one that you would actually know and 100% trust and stuff. A lot of them filter straws will filter out pretty much a lot of bacteria in water. Some of them won't always completely do away with certain bacterial stuff, like it can't filter out certain microbacteria stuff, but for the most part they can. A lot of the good brands anyways will actually filter out a good decent stuff. Always beforehand read the owner's manuals of those. When you get them, open them up, read the manuals, and that will tell you exactly what it will filter and what it won't filter, so you can make that decision. Okay, should I be putting this in my survival pack and stuff? One thing I do have in here is a little piece of paper, a laminated paper that tells me how to boil up water and stuff in my elements. How to boil it for 1 whole minute to a rapid boil and then make it safe to drink. What I would do in a situation is, since I have this tablet here, I'd be setting the timer on it, setting the timer for about 5-10 minutes, and bring the water to a really good super boil and stuff. But yeah, I'll show you the terrain I'm on right now walking. Yeah. But yeah, this is what I'm walking on right now. I noticed back there more in the village limits there where the cement is, a lot of people are walking all the way to the edge where it was nice and clear and then turning around going back. Not me, I'm an old country boy. I'll walk this a little bit. Now, obviously, I'm not walking all the way into the next town because, well, I'm not doing that. And plus, I'm not well prepared for that. So if the temperature was right now in an hour or so drop and got a little bit cold, I would be a little bit on the scoot side and for staying warm. So I'm going to walk a little bit further down and then probably turn around. But yeah. And the reason why this is like this is because they don't, in the wintertime, they don't maintain it because they figure, like, who's going to be really out in the cold weather, you know, walking this nature show, you know. Most people are going to hop in their car and drive and stuff. This, for those of you who don't live in the state of Michigan or don't live in this area, 1 years ago, before this was a nature trail, you know, before it was part of the Fred Meijer Rail Trail, this was actually some railroad tracks. What happened was years ago, the Fred Meijer organization that deals with all the nature trails in my area, a lot of them anyways, they got permission from they went to the local railroad company that owned this railroad track line, and they asked if they could buy it. Railroad company said, yeah, sure, we'll sell it to you because we really don't use it. And then they went to the government, the local state government, because they had to make sure that this wasn't a main rail line. And when the federal and state government said, yep, you're fine, that's just some no-name rail line, we don't care, it's not a main rail line, you can destroy it, do whatever you like. And then they got permission to build it into a nature trail. And this nature trail runs all the way to the town of Ionia, and all the way into another town called Meijer. We're heading east, and basically, if you do it right, I think it will take you all the way into all the way into the town of Flint, Michigan, if you really want to hike that far, which would take some days. And then back that way, on the east of me, back that way east, west, excuse me, but yeah, west, back that way, because I'm heading east. This way is east, and back that way, is actually west. Back that way is the town of Lowell, and will eventually take you into a big city called Grand Rapids. And I think this trail will even take you all the way into Lansing and stuff. I'll have to, one of these days, get on Google and do a little more research on that and stuff. I don't hike that far and stuff. Like, when I take this nature trail, I usually just take it into the next town over and then do whatever business I gotta do in the town of Ionia. Then I head back to Saranac, or if I gotta go in the town of Lowell and I feel like walking or riding a bicycle, then I'll go the other way into the town of Lowell and take this trail and stuff, you know, because it's actually a lot more safer to me, taking this trail, walking, hiking, and then trying to go out on the main road and stuff. Obviously, right now in this kind of weather, and snow and stuff, it's, you know, you really don't want to be trying to walk this nature trail in the next town over. You'd be more safer walking alongside the road and stuff on the shoulder and stuff would be even more safer, even though people drive like crazy and some people don't know how to drive and stuff. So yeah, but yeah. But yeah, on the whole filter straw thing, like I said before, make sure you always read the instructions, know what type of straw you got, and what it can actually filter out for drinking and stuff. Because once you in an emergency situation, you're using a filtration straw, and all of a sudden you feel like vomiting or diarrhea and stuff, then you want to stop drinking the water you you had tried to filter out or whatever, because then that means it's contaminated. You probably got a parasite in your body, and if you're not careful, you can really seriously hurry up and injure yourself. So it's very important to always make sure to know your water sources in your area and stuff. And if you're not 100% sure on the puddle of water you came across, you're kind of like, I don't think that looks good enough to filter out, boil it. Go with your gut feeling. Leave it alone. Try to find another water source and stuff. Like over here, there's the Grand River. Nasty salt water. No way in the world would I ever touch that water or try to drink it. That's dirty, contaminated water. I would, in a pinch, the snow, I would dig that snow up real fast and boil that up and make drinking water before I'd even touch river water and stuff. I know there's some creeks up around here where the water would be a little more safer and a little more better at drinking and filtering and stuff. But yeah, that's what I do a lot sometimes when I'm hiking, and I feel like it is I like to try to bring this backpack along with me and all the gear in it to get used to the weight of it. So in an emergency situation, I'm out hiking somewhere with a group of friends and say I get lost, well, my body won't be used to the weight of it, and it'll make things a lot more easier, simple, where I can be more focused on, okay, what do I gotta do, instead of walking around complaining about this heavy backpack thing. Oh, this backpack is heavy. And cry about it and stuff. Where I would be more, okay, what do I need to do? How do I filter? I also got whistles in here where I can whistle. If I was in a situation and I want to get people's attention, blow on a whistle and stuff. So that way I ain't using up all my energy trying to scream and yell, for help and stuff. I can whistle, And then with this All-Light flashlight, it's got some flashing modes where if I'm at night or kind of in this evening, and say my friends called the emergency, and AeroMed Search and Rescue was looking for me, and I saw AeroMed Search and Rescue, I would take this All-Light flashlight I got right now and then, shine on them and let them know, hey, there's somebody down there and stuff, so always have ways. Even this little rinky-dinky flashlight, if you did it right, it would potentially, if you stood in an open area just right, you could probably catch a search and rescue team if you was out hiking with friends and say you got lost and you knew there was a search and rescue party looking for you. One thing about me doing this stuff right now, like I'm walking, say I on this snowy path, I tripped, fell, bust my butt. Well, over there's houses, there's all kinds of people and stuff where if I tripped and fell and busted my butt, somebody'd be looking out the windows with binoculars saying, hey, somebody's. And plus, there's all kinds of people right now enjoying this nice weather, because before it was in the 20s and the teens, and everybody's like, hey man, I'm taking advantage of this nice weather. So I would have a potential walking this far, people would be able to find me, and I would have a way to, if something was to happen, say I tripped and fell and busted my leg, I'd have some help. And then I also have this sleeping bag here where in a pinch I would wiggle myself into it to stay warm and stuff. So, and that would be my potential coat and stuff when it got super cold out, I would definitely be digging around my backpack and grabbing one of them whistles and blowing the shnikes out of it, blowing the garbage out of it, on it if I had it. But yeah, I'm gonna turn back around now because it's kind of in the evenings. See what time it is. Yeah, it's about PM. Sun's starting to go down, and about this time, the sun starts going down about a little bit around 7, about 6 o'clock, about 6:15. it gets dark out, because at my job I work outdoors, so I've gotten to know what time the sun starts going down, it becomes dark. Because usually when at my job I take a break at 6:15, and then when I come back out, it's at this time of the season, it's dark out, where the sun's barely lit and stuff. So around 7 o'clock is when it gets pitch dark out and stuff. So yeah, I definitely want to start heading back and stuff. But yeah, I thought I would just do this little video. I do apologize for not showing too much of the surrounding areas and stuff, but yeah, this is what this nature trail is surrounded by. Yeah. Oh, in a pinch, if you got hurt on this trail, there's some hoses there and stuff where you could easily, if you had to try to crawl or pick up a stick, make you like a crutch or a cane, and waddle to the house, and somebody would rescue you, because around this area, if somebody catches you on their property, like, they're definitely going to come out, and we'll have law enforcement out and about, because around these parts, people support a certain amendment, we'll call it, and stuff. I won't say too much on that, but yeah, there'd be some people, hey, what are you doing? They're with their amendment device and stuff. But yeah, that's why I'm walking this without a coat on and stuff, because I walked this 1,000 times. I know my surroundings, I know my area, and again, the only reason why I brought this backpack is just to carry it and get used to the weight of it and stuff. But yeah, so this might be the only time you see one of these kind of videos on my YouTube channel for quite a while, until a more actual springtime it is, because right now this is just one of those, it's February, a few days after Valentine's Day, and this is just one of those, Michigan, we got lucky, God decided, well, I'll give them a nice day. So it was just one of those things, God decided to make us lucky and give us a nice day. But yeah, I can already tell the wind's picking up. You could probably hear it through the camera, because I'm just using whatever built-in camera on this device has and stuff. But yeah, you definitely want to get used to carrying your pack, before you actually have to use it and stuff, because it will make things a lot easier on you versus, on the day of you actually got to use it, you're going to be in a lot of pain and grunting and groaning, and I know me, I'd be in a situation where if I didn't do what I'm doing now and wasn't used to the weight of this, it would be a pain in the butt. I'd be crying, whining, and especially if I was lost, 10 times worse. But because I have gotten used to carrying this and the weight of it and stuff, in a survival situation, I would be a lot more relaxed than versus had I not, practiced carrying this backpack. So my suggestion is, if you're going to build your survival backpack for your personal survival needs, and the situation you're going to be in, you're going to have to do like I am right now, carry it, and stuff, then my suggestion is, fill it up with all the gear you want to bring and stuff, and fill it up, put it on you, and get used to carrying it. And if it's just doing laps around your yard and stuff, go for it. Or just walking down to the local park, or say you want to go to the grocery store, you live in walking distance of a gas station, grocery store, and you want to get your soda pop or a snack, put that backpack on and simply walk and practice, every chance you get, practice. Even if it's a survival backpack that you just keep in your car for emergency use, get used to the weight of carrying that too, in case you gotta abandon your car and go walk somewhere and you gotta bring that backpack along with you. Carry it, do what you gotta do. to get used to the weight of it, because I'll tell you, it's going to make things a lot easier. Now, earlier when I first started walking with this, before I turned my camera on, the only thing I had to do with this is just adjust the shoulder strap so this backpack wasn't sagging so much, because where it was making me all hunched over, you know. Again, you always want to take your backpack and see if you can lift it way up over top of your head, you know, like this. And if you can do that, a lot of survivalist videos I watch, and survivalist guys that know more than I do say that's, you know, if you can do that, lift it up with one hand up to top of your head, then that's, you know, good. And then they recommend that's a good thing to try, and then that will tell you whether or not you'll be able to carry it and stuff. But you definitely want to get used to the weight of it, and you definitely want to put stuff in it that you personally yourself know you can use and be able to survive a few nights out in the wilderness or whatever situation you find it. Even if you're just out camping, hiking with friends, this pack right here, I know I can lay the gear out and be doing just fine and stuff. One thing I might even do is I kind of put around the idea. I have a little two-person, it's a little dome tent, and I may even figure out how to rig the little dome tent up to this backpack where I can carry it, and then have a little two-person dome tent just for the heck of it. So that way, if I'm out camping, hiking with friends, I can simply set up the little dome tent real quick and have a little couple nights bug out. Obviously, with the survival tarps and stuff I got, I would use those in an emergency situation only, and build a more lavish shelter out of sticks and stuff that would better withstand the elements, that could withstand wind in the elements better than a little two-person dome tent. Yeah. Right now, if it was super cold out right now, and the type of shoes I'm wearing, if it was super cold out, I would totally have frozen feet and stuff. So, something to think about and stuff. So, but lucky for me, it's not that cold out. It's not in any. It's, last time I checked, it was 54 degrees Fahrenheit out, so I don't gotta worry about my feet frozen or anything. But if I was, say, at nighttime trying to walk this, I would definitely have some. If it was later out, I would definitely have some issues where my feet would potentially become cold, frozen, and if it was in frostbite temperatures and stuff. But right now, my feet are just fine. Actually, I always at my job wear these those Herman Survivor boots that I did a video about and stuff. And normally when I'm out in cold weather like this, I normally wear those and stuff in these temperatures. But I just threw these shoes on. And since it's warm out, I don't need to need the boots. Now, if I knew I was going to be traveling a lot longer distance, you know, further down the nature trail than what I did, then I would have put those on and stuff, you know, and stuff. And I definitely would have wore one of my flannel shirts and stuff. But I knew I wasn't going to be out here very long, just a little short little walking distance, you know, just to get myself, you know, used to this backpack and the weight of it and stuff. So that's why I did it, because I thought, it's nice weather out, might as well go for a nice little walk and enjoy this nice weather. I definitely like this weather when I'm out working my job and stuff, because it makes things so much easier and stuff. So that's why I can be out here in 54 degree weather, short sleeve and stuff, because my job, I'm outside quite a few hours in the day and stuff. I say about about 6 or 7 hours total. My job, I start at 3 p.m. and then I work until 10 p.m. at the job and stuff. So most of my day in this season of weather, I'm outside in the dark most of the time. So I'm brazing way more cold temperature versus somebody that works indoors in a heated space and stuff. So that's why a little bit I like the job I have for being out in the elements more, because then I know if I ever got lost out in the wilderness in this kind of cold weather, I know I'd be able to handle it a lot better than had I not, worked the job when I'm always outdoors all the time and stuff, So that's a one up. My body's trained for that in that event and stuff. So yeah, because I know it's been 14, 15 degrees out and stuff, and I had to bundle up and be out in that weather and stuff when we had those super cold temperatures where you're just kind of wondering if your car's going to start or not. And I think this Friday is supposed to get back down to those kind of cold temperatures and stuff where we just got a freaky little warm spell, and then Jesus is gonna make it more colder again and stuff. So but always be properly prepared and stuff, when you're out in these elements. Don't be walking out in these elements in short sleeve shirts and shorts and sandals and stuff. I see so many people in the wintertime not properly dressed, and I say to myself, what are they going to do when they're driving down the road and their car quits and they're beside the road in a super cold temperature and stuff, kind of, think about it, and especially these people who drive electric cars, what are you definitely going to do, I see so many people not properly dressed, because me, even if I wasn't working outdoors at my job, I would still, if I was just making a little trip to the store and stuff, I would definitely be dressed properly, so that way, in a pinch, if I had to, my car broke down and I had to camp out in my car, I would be definitely dressed properly warm and stuff, That's why I always keep my coat and stuff in my car, so that way I have in my coat right now, I have my gloves, my mittens, my hat, and everything, where if my car broke down and I had to, for whatever reason, camp out in my car for a few hours until somebody could come and rescue me, I'd be able to do it and stuff. And like right now, if I was out here in this situation lost, again, I have all the gear in here where I can, if I needed to, I could easily keep myself warm for a day or two and stuff, and be able to survive a little bit. Cause yeah, in this pack I got ferrocerium rod, fire starters, matches, lighters, all that stuff, and then also I have the tools to make firewood and stuff if I had to, if I was that kind of lost in that type of situation and stuff. But yeah, that's all I got to say here. This is just a spur of the moment kind of video, nothing planned or anything kind of video, but it just happened to be a nice day, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go for a little walk and stuff and things, and so that's why I did it. But yeah, but way this is, there's no way to really get lost out in this area. This way behind me, there's the Grand River, and then over here behind me now is a main road where if you got lost and you couldn't find your way back, all you would have to do is just walk through these woods and you'd be on the main road where you'd be able to get help and stuff. So on this trail anyways, and it's a pretty popular trail, and since it's been up for quite a few years now, probably going on 5-7 years already, and maybe even 10 years now. I can't remember when they put it in. I know it was somewhere around 2011, 2012 is when they first put this trail in and stuff. Around that time, 2013, 2014 is when they actually officially opened this up to the public to as a walking trail. And since then, it's been so popular where if you or somebody got hurt, got lost, whatever, you would easily be rescued. There wouldn't be issues. And especially, I know for me and the cell phone service I use and stuff, oh, it's real easy to, if I have my cell phone on me and say I tripped and fell, busted my butt and I couldn't move, and I have my cell phone on me, I would easily be able to, in a pinch, you know, call for emergency stuff and have cell service. So there's, with the track phone service I use, because I use track phone services for cell phone use, I would be able to, definitely be able to get a hold of people and stuff in that type of event and situation. But yeah, here's the creek I was talking about. There's a little creek here, so in a pinch, if you find yourself needing water or something to purify and filter to make it safe drinking, there's this little creek. I'll show you the other side. There's this little creek right here of flowing water that would be way more safer to purify and boil up to make safe drinking water than trying to drink from the river. This little creek flows into the Grand River, and the Grand River is salt water and water that you 100% do not want to drink, because you're going to make yourself 10 times worse than what you was before drinking it and stuff. Yeah, lost what I said there before. I pause the video sometimes because people walking by and stuff, and I don't want to get people too much in my videos and stuff out of kindness and respect. So yeah. But the reason why I didn't do the one filter on this camera setting that blurs out the background is because I wanted to be able to show people the background scenery and stuff. But here's what this nature trail I'm on kind of looks like, the kind of surroundings and area and stuff. But yeah, that's the name of the creek I just showed you. That's what they call it, and that's the little bridge over it. The way you're looking right now, that is east, and that will, if you keep walking that'll eventually take you all the way into a town called Ionia. And then behind me is west. If you're heading west, you'll eventually run into the middle town called Saranac, the town I live in. And then if you walk west past Saranac, then you'll go into a town called Lowell, and it'll take into Lowell and stuff. Now, the good thing with this trail, if you keep walking it, it's about 10 miles, but if you keep walking it, eventually you'll walk into the downtown part of Ionia. It goes right through the downtown part of Ionia. That's what this railroad track used to go through back in the day, because it would stop right in downtown Ionia back in the day when they had passenger rail services and stuff. Back when this used to be a railroad track, they would drop people off in downtown Ionia, because Ionia was kind of like the main hub back in the day, you know, like the main little city around these parts that people would go to if they had to, you know, do some stuff that their town didn't have back in the 1800s and 1900s, back in the days when people rode the train and stuff. But yeah, so back this way here, I'll show you. Takes you all the way into downtown Ionia, where if you had any issues or whatever, you'd be right in the downtown. And actually, if you keep walking it, eventually you'll walk right past if I remember right, the local police station and stuff too, where if you had any sort of trouble and you was able to walk and you was really close to the Ionia area, you'd be able to safely and you had some issues or whatever, and you knew you could walk, you would eventually be able to be in the downtown area where you could get help or whatever you needed in an event of emergency or whatever. There'd be plenty of people to plenty of places to go to ask for help and stuff. Even in Saranac here, this goes right through the main road of Saranac. Where actually to get to the other side of the nature trail, you gotta cross the main road coming out of town. So if you had any emergency issues, if you keep walking further down this way, you will eventually run into the downtown area of Saranac, where you could easily go to the businesses, ask for help, or since right in downtown Saranac they have the fire barn. If you're in an emergency situation, you can make it there. You can easily go to the local fire barn easily and ask for help and stuff. That's what I would do first if I was in an emergency situation and I didn't really know the town too good, but I saw on the main drag, the fire department. I'd first go there and get a hold of somebody and stuff. And then they also across the street from the fire barn is the village office, where a lot of times the village will have a local county police officer there to assist somebody in an emergency situation and stuff. But yeah. And of course I live in walking distance of this nature trail and stuff, so that's why I decided to do it. That's why I want to do, like I said in previous videos before, I want to do e-bikes, because I'm in walking distance of this beautiful nature trail, and it's partly paved. Then the rest of the way where I was at, that was all snowy, that's gravel and stuff. So this nature trail has a variety of different terrain and different areas where I could really test out electric bicycles and see how well they do and stuff. Because the government on this nature trail, from what I read on the Michigan government website and the DNR website and the people that make the laws about this nature trail, they allow certain electric pedal assist bicycles and stuff on this trail. So most of the ones that normal people are going to use, not those like sheer-on electric dirt bikes that do 70, 80 miles per hour, people that are going to, not want a speed demon electric bicycle, the ones that, basically maximum speed is about 30 to 25 miles per hour at the most, and their actual pedal assist, I could do a ton of, since I'm in walking distance of this, and I bought the right kind of cameras and stuff, I could easily do a ton of e-bike reviews and stuff. But one thing, be careful of that, definitely a trip hazard. So always be aware of your surroundings and stuff. And also that other part that's gravel, there's some stones and stuff where if you're not careful you could easily trip and have some boo-boos. But yeah, that's why I would love to have the money from YouTube to be able to buy a few electric bicycles and stuff and put them to the test, because I'm surrounded by dirt roads where I used to live and stuff. I'm in actually walking distance of the old dirt road that I used to live on. That's all hilly, bumpy, and so I could definitely, on an actual main actual dirt road, I can actually test out how well it would do on a regular dirt road. And then if I didn't really want to, worry about traffic and cars and stuff, well, I could easily use this nature trail and test out how well they work and stuff and different terrains. And then plus, since this nature trail is both ways super long and stuff, I can also test out the range capacity too, where how long it would go until the battery gets to the point where it's saying, hey, stick a fork in me, I'm done, kind of thing and stuff. But yeah, then of course back behind me here, this is a factory. So yeah, on the whole this trail, on safety and stuff, there's plenty of places you can run to. This is actually they call it contract dewatering, some such that deals with watering and piping and stuff. But yeah, if you go there, if you say you got hurt or something and you need attention, you could easily, and you knew you could walk there, and go, and then somebody would help you and stuff, you know. So on that and stuff. But yeah, I'll show you right up here. This is heading west because I'm heading back to my house and stuff. Then over here on this side is all woodsy and the Grand River and stuff. So if you needed to catch fish for food, there's a river. Yeah, the Grand River. So there's guaranteed be able to catch a fish. We have deer in the area, so worst case scenario too, if you couldn't catch a fish but you knew you could chase down a deer and stuff, you know, you'd be able to skin them and eat them and stuff. So, and then up ahead here, I'll show, is the park. The public park is up here and stuff. So past the factory, there's the public park where they call it Shides Park. It's just a public park with a children's playground set up and stuff where you could easily rest and stuff. If you know, in the spring and summertime, they have public restrooms, a drinking fountain. So if you was walking for a really long time and you ran out of water and you need a free water source, Shides Park, they have a drinking fountain and restrooms where you can get water and change clothes or do whatever you need to do. You know, you gotta say you're walking along and you realize you gotta go to the bathroom. You know, there's a park and they have public restrooms and stuff. And then if you keep walking down this way down there, the downtown area, more into the downtown area, there's also what they call the little rail trail park, little covered pavilion where I done videos in the past, sitting at the picnic tables, running my mouth and where the boat launches and stuff. They also have that too, and that has bathrooms and drinking fountains as well and stuff. I showed that stuff before in previous videos, so if you go back into my playlist and stuff and look at all those videos, I done videos all about that stuff. So you know what you so you know what there is available and stuff. Yep. But yeah, so as far as like this trail being an issue for like emergency situations and stuff, you wouldn't have any troubles whatsoever. The farmer's got some cows there. And this is the farmer's field right here, because that factory is right there. Then you got this farmer's cow field, and then next to that you have the actual park. So there's like a farmer's field kind of in between the actual factory and where the actual park is, and in the middle is this farmer's field and stuff. Yeah. I remember one time that farmer had some old vintage tractors out in the weeds and bushes and stuff, and I always thought that was kind of interesting, because that's one thing I noticed about farmers, because I grew up around farmers, is somewhere on their farm they got a pile of old scrap metal and stuff, like seriously, like you can kind of a little bit, I know it's like over here a bit of scrap and stuff, but like seriously though, farmers do that. They have like a little pile of scrap, and it's like, buddy, at the scrap prices, you could load that crap up, take your scrap there, and make you some pocket change. And then some farmers, they'll have like a real old vintage tractor that people would love to fix up and restore, and it's like, it's like, dude, why don't you put that thing up on the Facebook Marketplace, get your grandson and sell some of that stuff. That's what gets me about some of these farmers, is they'll on their farm, they'll kind of hoard some stuff, and of course, I've been around them old farm boys that, well, I would have to get this or that, and, you know, and then when they do want to sell it, they want to try to sell it for some high, ridiculous price that makes you wonder if it's even worth it, you know. Because I've been around them old farmers that, well, I would love to sell that, you know, but I really would have to get X amount of dollars for it. And it's like, yeah, now I see why it sits out in the back 40. You know, I've been around those old farm boys like that and stuff. Kind of comical and stuff, but yeah. Yeah, here's more of the scenery around the nature. And there's the cows. I know some people like to look at farm animals. But yeah, I've been around those kind of old farmers and stuff. But yeah, like I say, if you're on e-bikes and stuff, I have plenty of free access to trails and stuff that would be perfect for testing e-bikes. So if you're a company out there that sells e-bikes and you're looking for somebody to review your El Cheapo throw together e-bike, and you want somebody that's going to actually be honest and not lie about your product, then hey, feel free to get a hold of me. You know, I always put my contact information down below in the description. So if you're a company that deals with e-bikes and electric bicycle stuff, you know, and you want somebody to review your product, get a hold of me, because this trail right here, I will use it and review your e-bike product if you. But I do want to make it clear to all you companies out there that want to send me products to review and stuff, whether it's a e-bike or not, I'm not going to lie about it. I'm not going to be a blasphemy. I'm not going to. If you send me an email saying you can have this bike for free, but you got to lie about it and say it's super, super great, I'm going to accept the offer, but I'm going to turn around and just talk about how crappy it is, and I'm going to call you out. And then if I can get a hold of the Better Business Bureau and get you in trouble, then I'm going to file a formal complaint and say, hey, you need to put into this company and stuff. You know, I'm going to call you out. Where I'll be like, oh, sure, yeah, great. I would love to review your bike and lie about it. Oh, I'm totally going to take it. Even if you take me to court and sue my ass, I'm gonna call you out for being a liar and a blasphemer. Because I'm going to put it to the test. And if it's good, then I'll say it's good. If it's crappy and not very good, I'm going to speak my mind about it and raise a little fuss. But I'll definitely let people know. I'll be like, okay, they wanted me to lie about this, and then I'm gonna make a video showing their product, calling them out, and warning people and stuff. But once your trail has two also benches that you can sit on. Here's a little trash can, and I've showed this before on videos multiple times. But there's a little dog bag, so if you wanna bring your dog along and you need a bag to pick up dog waste, there's one. Trash can. Then here's a bulletin board showing the map of the trail you're on. There's the town I live in. And then there's the next town that if I would have kept heading east, I would have ran into, which would have took me to the downtown area. And then if I keep heading west, let's say I wanted to head west, which I'm not going to do, then I would eventually end up in the town of Lowell. And some information about the trail and stuff. So, and there's the information about the person and stuff, you know, if you have any questions. And then some more information, but there's what they actually call this trail that I'm on, the Fred Meijer Grand River Valley Rail Trail and stuff. What it is the Meijers Corporation. They're a store like Walmart, and they make millions and billions, and they donated a bunch of money to, you know, just donate a bunch of money to help fund this trail and stuff. So, yeah. But yeah, here's that park I was talking about. But there's some Shites, they call it Shites Park. And they have public in the springtime. When they're open up for the season, they have public restrooms. And they also have a drinking fountain and stuff. So if you're somebody walking, you run out of water and you need free water, that would be the place to get it, in the spring and summertime and stuff. And fun fact, that little red building, as you can see right there, sun's kind of in my eyes, but that little red kind of building there, I'll see if I can't zoom in on it. Yeah, that little red building right there, that's the new restrooms, if I remember correctly. A restroom area, it's where the restrooms are. But yeah, they just not too long ago, I think last season or the season before, they put all new restrooms in and stuff because the old ones were been there for many years, and they tore those down and redid all that so they could have new restrooms. Because they have baseball diamonds here, and in the spring and summertime they have children's baseball events and stuff because this park has a big old parking lot. So in the spring and summertime, there's always ball games going on and people having under the cover pavilion there where all the picnic tables are. They have their a lot of people have birthday parties and different things and stuff, and there's always families with little ones at the park and stuff. So in the event, if you had an emergency situation, there'd be in the spring and summertime, there's all kinds of people around that park and stuff where, and also that's where them big garage buildings are where the township keeps all their where the village keeps all their tools and equipment and stuff, and there's always workers, employees, so there's always somebody around and stuff, And also I know the police, since they have a skate park there for skateboarders, there's always sheriffs, riding around checking out the park and checking everybody out. So it would be a good place if you were, say you got hurt and you needed medical attention and you didn't have a phone or a device to get a hold of somebody. I would totally definitely camp out there and stuff because the main road's out there, and you'd have more guarantee of somebody coming along and asking, hey, are you alright and stuff, and get you medical help if you couldn't make it all the way into the downtown area. Now if you couldn't make it all the way into the downtown area and stuff, that would be a better route to go because then you would have more of a chance right now in this kind of weather on being found and stuff and getting the help you need or whatever. But yeah. Well, yeah, if you keep heading east and you go beyond Saranac, keep heading west. Don't know why I keep saying east, I'm looking west. If you keep heading west, this way is west, keep heading west, past Saranac, eventually you'd walk into the little town of Lowell. And then that way again, if you keep heading east, past and keep heading east that way, you'd eventually run into the town of Ionia and stuff. Oh yeah. But yeah, that's why I say about e-bikes and stuff. This nature trail would be perfect for that and stuff. If I wanted to test out e-bikes and stuff, and I had the money to do so, to buy e-bikes and stuff, which I can't afford that stuff right now, but maybe in the near future I would love to do that and stuff, because I like like little motorbikes and things with motors on it and stuff. That stuff always kind of fascinated me. When I was a kid, I always liked going to restaurants that had arcades, and then if they had a little arcade video game driving simulator thing, I was always, oh wow, I want to drive that and stuff. And I remember in the town of Ionia at the fairgrounds years ago, they used to have go-karts, and I always liked riding the go-karts and stuff, and really enjoyed that and stuff. That's why so I always had a fascination with things with motors on it. Obviously on this nature trail, basically under the laws and stuff, you can, from my understanding of the laws and stuff, you can only ride on an actual e-bikes with like pedals and stuff on it, like those electric dirt bikes called Chiron and stuff, and ones that like do like 60, 70 miles per hour, really fast speeds. You're not allowed to ride those on this nature trail. Only ones that are like pedal assist and stuff, where you can where you have the option to pedal. Now you can have throttle ones, like electric bicycles that you can just turn the throttle and run and stuff. But I think from my understanding, your electric motorbike's got to have pedals on it, where when the motor runs out, you have to pedal it and stuff. Like I did a Facebook posting about a pedal bicycle. Now, if I had that pedal bicycle, I would be able to ride that on this nature trail, no problems whatsoever, in the spring and summertime and stuff. I wouldn't have any issues with that one being on here as far as the law goes and stuff. But yeah, but I know there's some electric motorbikes out there that are not classified as e-bikes and e-scooters and stuff, where they would not allow it. Like, for example, if I bought offline this I saw it was called a e-hora or whatever electric scooter thingy that looks like a chopper motorcycle. Now, if I had that one and I tried driving down this nature trail on it, there's a good chance if law enforcement came along, I would get in trouble and get a ticket, because that's not an actual e-bike. I think that one is classified more like just an electric moped or something on that line. So that would be not on this nature trail legally allowed. It would only be the ones that are pedal assist, that are actual pedal bikes and go under a certain amount of speed and stuff. I'll have to re-look up all that stuff again and stuff, because I'm just trying to go off memory. It's been a while since I looked at those laws and stuff, and I'll have to re-look that stuff back up again and stuff. But yeah, this would definitely be a great trail to ride regular like style e-bikes that you normally ride on a nature trail and stuff, and do videos about it and different things. There's a few out there that I personally seen that I wouldn't mind having the money to buy and I would actually use for myself. And then there's some that I have seen that I think would be neat to just simply buy and put to the test to see how well they are and stuff. So yeah. Well, yeah. So that's why I would like to in the future doing that. So again, if you're a company out there that would looking for somebody to review your little electric motorbike and stuff, and you would like to want to send somebody like a content creator an electric bicycle of yours to review and stuff, and you want to send it for free and say, hey, here's a free product, you just do a video about it, giving your opinion on it, and in return you get to keep it for free. Feel free to send me an email and we'll talk and stuff, and I'd be glad to review your products. But I just want to make it clear, I'm not going to be lying about your products. If you're going to say, hey, would you review this product, but we want you to buy it and stuff first and all that stuff, as of right now, I will definitely turn you down. If you send me a product and then you want me to send it right back, I'm going to turn you down and stuff, because I'm not going to do that sort of stuff. I figure if a company really bad wants your product out there and they want people to test it out and stuff, then you can send it to me for free and say, here's the product, review it for free, and then when you're done doing the video, do whatever you would like with the product and stuff. That's how I'm going to be and stuff, because I think that's kind of not fair and stuff a little bit. These companies that want you to test the part free, and in return you're giving them free advertisement, and then they say, oh, but you need to send the product back to me. I think that's kind of silly if if you ask me and stuff. Because if you're a big corporation out there and you got a product and you're trying to sell it and make money off of it, and you want people to test your product, you can send the product to them for free and let them keep it and stuff, you know, on some of that on some of that stuff, if you're looking for product reviewers and testers. Because that's the way I look at it on some of that stuff, a little bit there. And, you know, I understand why companies do that and stuff, but, you know, because sometimes it could be a product that's not actually released to the market yet, and so they do need to have the product back, you know, so it doesn't end up out there on the market, because they may have to tweak it a little bit or whatever, you know. So I kind of understand that, but when it comes to a company wanting people to simply test out products and then say, and they have really no good excuse for why you need to send it back, you know, I think that's kind of silly dumb, you know. I think if you're gonna send somebody a product for free to test, and you're gonna have them make basically free advertisement for you, then they need to you know, compensate the content creator and stuff. I know some companies do a thing where we'll send you a promotional code, let you make a little pocket change off the sale of the videos. You know, that's nice too and stuff. If you're a content creator and you wanna go that route, but you know me, I don't kind of care to right now do a whole lot of stuff, because I'm not too familiar on all the tax laws and stuff on that thing, so that's why I don't do that stuff. But yeah, if you're a company that, you know, you got an electric bicycle or some sort of like outdoor camping gadget, and you would like to have somebody review your product, and you just want to send it to me for free, and then say, hey, you just review this product, and in return you get to keep the product and stuff, I'll be gladly to maybe looking into doing that for your company and stuff, review your products, you know, because all content creators do that, you know. That's just their kind of way of making money and getting views and stuff. So you're gonna, you know, no matter what. So, because what I would do on some of that stuff, if I realized that, I didn't really need it, I would just definitely give it away, you know, and stuff. Because what I would do is, like, with e-bikes and stuff, let's say I reviewed a bunch of electric e-bikes, and I had a bunch of them, you know, and I'm only one person and stuff. What I would do is I would definitely probably buy up, if I had the money at the time, I would definitely buy like some sort of 100-watt solar panel that you could connect to the e-bike and charge it up and stuff, you know, in direct sunlight. And then I would give it away to somebody that, you know, could use an electric bicycle, that, you know, that may not have access to a car or something, you know, maybe like a homeless person or something. I would definitely think about doing that and stuff. Or also maybe buying, like, maybe a solar power station, and then also a foldable solar panel to go with the e-bike and stuff. Probably what I would do is I'd probably take the e-bike, go to these places that give to the homeless and stuff, you know. Like, I know a place that would gives out free stuff to the homeless sometimes, and I would go to those places and say, hey, here's an electric e-bike, and here's a solar panel to go with it and stuff. I don't have a need for it, so I would, you know, give this to somebody that truly would absolutely, you know, need the product and stuff more than I do and things. So that's what I would do. But as far as electric bicycles and stuff to go, if I didn't, you know, need it, and said to myself, I don't need to keep it and stuff, so I would definitely give it away to somebody that could use it and stuff. So if you're a company out there that you know would send me a free product and wondering if he doesn't want it, what is she going to do with it? Is she going to try to sell it, you know? Because I know some content creators do that. They'll get free products and then they'll post them after they're done doing the video review. They'll hurry up and post them online for sale or whatever and stuff, and try to make money off the products. Actually, my brother, he watches a lot of tool review content creators that do a lot of videos about tool reviews and stuff. And there was this one content creator that was getting tools from a well-known tool brand, and he was getting them for free and reviewing them and stuff. And then he turned around and then was selling them online. And then what happened is the company found out that what he was doing, so they were kind of mad. So I guess they stopped sending the guy tools to review and stuff, where this guy was getting for free from a company tools to review. And then after he was done doing the review and he didn't really need the product, he would be selling them online. And I guess a company didn't like that, so they stopped sending him tools and stuff. And me and my brother, we chuckled about that and stuff, because my brother told me the story about the one content creator that he watches that does tool reviews and stuff that kind of got chewed out by the company. But yeah, that's what I would most likely do. So if I get products for free and stuff, and I decide, well, I don't need the product and stuff, then I would donate it and stuff. You know, I have the little pantry out in my yard where I could also just put the product in there, and then somebody could, scoff it up and use it and stuff. So that's another thing I just thought of. Too, is a little pantry in my yard where I could some of that stuff just put out there and let people in the community to be able to scoff it up and stuff. I would even do that with electric bicycles and stuff too. I'd even probably go ahead and do that sort of thing, where I would probably lean one up against that little shed and just put a sign on it, free, and let people know the situation and stuff. But yeah, if I was going to do product reviews and stuff, I would definitely, at the end of the video and stuff, explain what I would do with the product and stuff. And I'm just mentioning this for you companies out there that are watching content creators on the internet. So for you companies out there that like to send content creators products to review and stuff. But, yeah, as you can tell, I'm already heading back to my house and stuff, where I will definitely be ending this video right now. But hope you like this little just spur of the moment walking, talking video and stuff. I mostly kind of tried to stay kind of on one topic there and stuff. But dropped my old light. Still works. Yeah, I didn't have it properly secured on the backpack, so definitely, if I wasn't paying attention, if I would have dropped that out in the wilderness, I would have been screwed blue and tattooed there. But yeah, if you like this sort of content, give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you didn't like it. A thumbs up if you liked it, or a thumbs down if you didn't like it. Comment your thoughts below. Do you think this was a good video, bad video and whatnot? Yes, I will later on when the warmer weather is officially here to stay. I will do more videos and stuff, and try to get out more and do some more different types of videos, or maybe and stuff. I would actually, when I have the funds to do it, there's some museums in my area that I would love to go and try to film and stuff, and do some videos about. Like, one's a car museum that I went to quite a few years back. If you go to my Facebook page, and you click, I think I have it publicly, where you can see these pictures where I visit this car museum called the Gilmore Car Museum, and I would love to take my camera along and go and visit that museum and do a video about it and stuff if I can. There's actually quite a few museums that I knows about. Some I actually visited when I was in school and stuff, and they're still around that I would like to go and film and show everyone, you know, what they have and stuff. So that way people who like to travel and tour different areas, they would know what kind of museums around me here in Michigan have to offer and stuff. So yeah. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because that helps me, Boomhauer69, out and gaining more views and getting more people and showing Google that people want to see me, and you know, they put me in their algorithm however they do and stuff. And don't forget to share this video with everyone you know, because that what helps me also reach more people and stuff. Hope you all have a good day, and thank you for watching Boomhauer69 YouTube channel.